It's just all that you believe in. Future, everything you're dreaming. Don't stop, you can have it all tonight. Sit back, see it from a clear view. Fuck that, they don't gotta tell you just how you gonna live your life. Oh yeah! Rooted in creation, it gave me motivation. Collecting all these things, people and places. When it feels good, you know I gotta chase it right. What's up? Speak up. Often misunderstood. Catch up, bless up. If you tried, then you would get it done now. Right here, right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Glitter on my head, a light on my mind. I got a trip upstate to show 'em what's fine. I know my friend down south, she coming around, she wanna ride. I got too much on my plate, and I go to find. I got a whole lot to say, a lot on my mind. I got my homie on the way to show 'em it's time we gotta ride.
Took me a long time, put in the work, got it from dirt. Baby, we gon' shine, baby, we gon' shine. It was a long line, I paid my dues, now watch me fly. Mama always told me,
GM. Welcome back to Noun O'Clock Live, the Noun Square. I'm Robot Fish Girl. We're watching the end of the auction for Noun 1248. This baseball we got yesterday, we didn't pick this one, but it looks pretty good anyway. We've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the auction. If you're not there already, nounoclock.live or nomo.wtf. If you are in our audience on Twitter or YouTube, then check the description if you want to join in on the tavern. You can join the conversation, hop up on stage. It's a Sunday. We're going to keep it to a light show. Just going to do some FOMO, some NOMO, talk about some random stuff, and then, see what happens. Do an AMA about nouns if anybody has any questions. So please feel free to drop by. If you don't want to talk, that is A-OK. You can absolutely chat in the YouTube chat box, and I'll be able to respond. Or leave a comment on Twitter. I won't be able to respond directly, but I will be able to see it and tell you what's going on. So, a minute and 45 seconds left. And we're currently sitting at 2.678. I'm just going to let this song play out. It's almost done. It's going to fade out on its own. While you're at it, don't forget to pick up Nomo Noun number 1248. This beautiful Bloody Rose we got yesterday. For just 0.00069 ETH, that's $1.64 USD. 100% of the proceeds go to the Yellow Collective Treasury, which goes to supporting artists on Shane in the Nouniverse and beyond. We'll be talking about that very shortly because I believe that auction just ended. Yes, it did. Helia.eth picked that up for 0.033, so we're going to be settling that very shortly. If somebody else settles, that's okay, but I usually try to delay it until we're done playing FOMO, just so that we can sort of keep the two auctions roughly at the same time. But Helia.eth taking home this beautiful minty worm, 0.033.
I think they picked up one other one recently.
They did.
Looking back, they got the red flag.
Yeah, they got my dating history as a noun.
Kind of matches their PFP, the red flag.
Yeah. 30 seconds left. Are we going to see another bid, or is 0xDAA4 going to take this one home for 2.67? It's going to be their fourth noun.
Looks like might be it. Awfully close. Yep, too late.
Too late for another bid to come in. Nounoclock.live or nomo.wtf if you're in the tavern. They're pinned to the top. And with that, it is time for FOMO. All right, if you've been here before, you know the drill, but just in case you haven't, you're going to see all of these nouns flashing by. When you see a noun you like, give it a thumbs up. When you see a noun you don't like, give it a thumbs down. If we get enough thumbs up in the first 2 seconds or so of a noun being on display, that is going to be the noun that is on auction for the next 24 hours. It doesn't always work. Sometimes somebody comes in and settles the auction before we're done, like they did yesterday, to pick up that baseball, but that's a-okay. We don't own settling. We just try to play this game.
And it's fun when we get to play the game.
It is more fun when we get to play the game. That is true. But we still get to play Nomo regardless, so there is that. So what are we going for today? I think we've still got a
Still have a
couple of
list of
nouns.
stuff.
Yeah. I wrote them
There
down.
is a kangaroo, a frog, a CRT, I think.
Ooh, I kind of like that
um,
rose. I voted it down, but I kind of like it.
a wizard.
The ones that the ones
like
that I
wizard,
have is a
meathead, beer.
pirate ship with black knuckles, a frog, a
Oh, yeah,
CRT,
pirate
wizard
ship.
hat, and stuff. Kangaroo, and we already got the calculator. I kind of like this fence. I don't know.
Fence was first Nara I ever got.
Really?
Yep, it was a
Was there
fence.
significance to it, or did you just see it and be like, I like that one?
No, it was the first one that I was able to win on an auction because that's when sniping was still in play.
You know what? That makes sense. I
It was
think
that and a banana were my first two.
I don't know what my, I think my first one.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
that
that's
is
so good.
beautiful. Okay, we gotta. I'll rain check
Who
that
voted down?
conversation.
You're kicked out of here.
No, but
off
no,
the
we're
stream.
not kicking you out. You can stay. It's okay. I don't agree with you, but it's okay.
Yeah,
That is
you're-
a beautiful cone. And now it is Nomo time. If you're not there already, nounoclock.live or nomo.wtf. You're going to see all of these nouns arrayed before you. You're going to pick your favorite from among them.
Choose your character.
Spam click it with all your might. Every 10 seconds, half of them are eliminated until we're left with just one. That's going to be the Nomo noun of the day. That Flora
I think there's
Nouns
only one
frog
place.
is so good.
The flamingo.
The flamingo is gorgeous too. Honestly, I like the
I wish
lips on the
the
red
had
background and the
different
racing
models.
shirt. I dig it. But whatever it is, make sure you've signed in with your wallet and you're on OP, or your clicks will not be counted on this one. You do have to sign in. We do have civil protection. But you still got 10 seconds, which probably is enough time. And you can sign in the middle of the game. You don't have to wait until it's over if you don't get it in time. That's all right. All right, I'm going to go for the flamingo. I'm going to save this little frog.
I know Jared's going for the coffee bean.
The boot. The racing boot. I'm sorry,
That's what happens
can't.
after you drink coffee. Nice.
You got to race. Yeah, that's true. I can't look at the coffee noun without seeing the butt. I can't. I'm sorry. It's right there. Okay, flamingo, hip rose, orca, casual toady, and this
Someone's going hard for
racing
the orca.
coffee bean. No, toady's gonna be eliminated.
Oh, what?
Wow.
I tried to save the coffee bean and lost the flamingo.
Final round. Frog versus coffee. Fight! Coffee wins. Fatality.
That
No
was not
coffee
even
beans flying
close.
around.
I'm upset. I like the frog. Nobody tell Toady, but I like the frog.
Well, it's a good combination of cone with a racing accessory.
That is true. This is a very, very, very good combination. All right, and if you want to mint Nomo Noun number 1249, you can do so at 9o'clock.live or nomo.wtf. 100% of the proceeds go to the Yellow Collective Treasury. which we're gonna settle that auction. Somebody already did. Collective noun number 313 is a beautiful, optimistic head, optimistic superhero. It's got a, what color shirt is that?
I think that's the gunk
It doesn't look like,
accessory.
it doesn't look like gunk. It looks brown.
I don't know what it's called.
It's like
Called
mustard. I don't know.
something.
It's like Dijon. Well, either way, we've got that, and it's running with scissors on a base background. If you want to pick up this optimistic superhero, collective noun number 313, you can do so at yellowcollective.xyz. Yellow Collective is an on-chain club that is devoted entirely to supporting artists on-chain in the Nouniverse and beyond. Like I said earlier, we commission artists, and that is a wide range. So they can be digital artists, they can be photographers, they can be painters, they can be musicians. We commission them to do Based in Yellow editions, which we then sell on our own platform. You know, but not, we sell them through like Zora or whatever. And they get a portion of the mint proceeds as well as we get the other half, basically. And they also do get commissioned up front for their work. So everything is just goes to supporting artists as well as, you know, keeping the Yellow Collective going. And that's not all. We've done retro commissions for artists who have done fan art of previous nouns. We've done... It also is what funds all of our art contests here at the Noun Square. So 100% of that ETH is going to supporting artistic endeavors. I am very proud of the Yellow Collective. I realize I'm saying this when I haven't done my homework for it that is due yesterday, but it's... I'll get to it. I promise. I'm going to go AFK after the show, but after that, I'll get to it. Brett's going to kill me. Anyway... How's everybody doing on this Sunday?
Pretty good. It's, you know, chill morning so far, watching TV, drawing a little bit.
I feel ancient. My baby sibling is 21 years old today, and I feel so old. Because I remember when they were little, and now they're not.
Yeah, I have, I think my youngest brother is a senior in high school right now, which is weird.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my young, and it's especially weird because like I'm adopted, right? And these are my birth siblings. And so I don't get to see them all that often. We're you know, constantly talking on Discord and stuff, but and you know, Skype before that. So we have, you know, sort of digitally grown up together. We're you know, a totally open adoption. I know them, you know, very well. They're my siblings, but it's weird because I don't get to see them physically. That when I do, like once every 5 years or so, it's just like, what happened? Why are you taller than me? Like, this is not the way of things. But yeah, it's just, I can't believe they're 21. It's so weird. Anyway, that's my personal crisis for today. There's a non-zero possibility they listen back to this later and they're like, why are you talking about me on your show? Because I love you, deal with it. Anyway. Let's talk about proposals. Or what?
Yeah. I was going to say, I just pinned up again the tickets for Nounstown in case anyone's here or listening back wants the link to grab those. This is just the first round of tickets. So if that sells out, he's going to release it.
Looks
and
like the supply
ticket is refundable if once you show up and scan your ticket in person, you get that ETH sent back to you.
Yeah. So if you don't show up, then it's non-refundable. So you do have to actually be at the thing to get a refund.
Yes. If you're a noun holder, you are already on the guest list. So you don't need to make the deposit. But if you do want this fun little art from Sloppy,
Which you should.
And there may or may not be another version after it's redeemed that I might have seen already.
There's a lot of mites there, so you're getting a...
Well, I mean, I've seen it. I just don't know if it's going to be used or not.
Oh, okay. Alpha! You've been promoted.
And then just speaking of Noun Sound, I saw Vinny Hagar reposted that he got his ticket and he's going to be live painting there.
I'm so excited about that.
Who got connected with him to bring him out there.
I'm so hyped about that. For anybody who doesn't know Vinny Hager, he's got the most... You've seen his work. I'll pull up some of it. Because you've definitely seen it.
Just these like little doodles that fill up everything. Like they just...
It's so like you look at it and you're like, oh, they're just doodles. Like anybody could do. No.
No, there's art to it. Yeah.
There is a significant, and even the way he talks about it. And incidentally, if you want to hear him talk about it, check out the Zero Rights Reserved podcast because we've had him on there as well as on 9 o'clock live like 6 times. But if you want to hear him talk about it, no, seriously, that Zero Pod episode is great. And he talks about it and he's like, I just sort of like feel it out, and over time it just sort of comes together. But it's clear that it takes an immense amount of skill, and if you are in any way doubting it, or if you're just like, oh, maybe, I seriously, I encourage you to try to do this without looking at like a reference, because holy shit. And you can watch him do it live. You know, he does it at events and stuff. And we were at NFC NYC a couple years ago, and he was just, we were at this Noun soccer event, or this crypto soccer event, and he was there, and he was just like doodling on like maps of New York and like on people's bags and stuff. And it just like he can do that. He can do this easily. I don't think anybody else could. It's ridiculous to watch because it looks like nothing for like 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa. Like, it's a completed piece. Like, seriously, go. If you are able to watch Vinny work live, I kept telling him, like, you need to like record videos of you doing this and put them up on like TikTok or something. You'd make a mint in just ad revenue alone, because it's fascinating. And yeah, this is one of the, I have one of his works up on the stream right now, and he's brilliant, and you all should take the opportunity to watch him.
I just pinned up the Zero Pod too. Anyone wants to check that out?
Oh, sweet. Yeah, go check out the tavern. And once again, if you are on Twitter or YouTube and you're listening in, please come by the tavern. We have got all sorts of links here. We have got all sorts of links right up here. Everything that we talk about on the show is pinned up here. We do usually try to thread them on Twitter after the fact as well, but it's a light show. We're probably not doing that today. So if you do want any of the links, please come by the tavern. The link is in the description, and you can check out all of these at your leisure. And you don't have to do it right now, though we would appreciate it. You don't have to right now. They are going to be available in perpetuity. So anytime you go back to this link, this tavern link, these links will be here saved for you for as long as the tavern lasts. So definitely please check that out if you have not yet. Yeah. Well, with that done. Oh, that's right. We were going to talk about proposals. Let's go back. We're back to a whole bunch of props up. The only one that is currently active is Noun's Fusor, the nuclear fusion reactor. NetNose is in the YouTube chat saying, I don't understand why they're voting against Noun Fusor. Do you want me to tell you? I'm gonna vote with reason on this in a bit, but I mean, people are doing vote with reasons already. I like this one. Sick experiment, but we shouldn't fund it. That's fun. Yeah. For anybody who hasn't seen this one, this guy is software and mechatronics engineer. I don't know what that means, but whatever it means, that's what he is. Who's interested, who's really interesting with math and string theory. Has some crypto courses on Udemy. And somebody built a nuclear fuser in their bedroom with zero hardware experience by way of an LLM, and now this guy wants to do the same by using ChatGPT, which is an interesting decision, Summoner. I'm not gonna go off about this because I do want to be impartial on the
Metatronics
show.
is combining mechanical engineering with robotics,
Okay.
more or less. There's electrical engineering, computer engineering in there too, but
I was kind of under the impression that robotics inferred that, but I guess not. Well, I mean, I guess robotics does encompass like biological machines. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see why you would need a distinguisher. Still, I might have explained that in the proposal. That's not exactly a term that I think a lot of people will have run into. I feel like that is something that a lot of people writing proposals don't realize. Is because ideally, and I realize
yeah,
this
just
isn't
in general.
I realize this isn't the world we live in, but ideally, if you're writing a proposal to do a thing, you are an expert in that thing. Or at least, a high-level amateur. And so I would hope that you would have a high level of knowledge about your subject, and there is a chance that you might assume that people will understand you on certain things that they have no idea about. And so I think a really important thing to do when you're writing a proposal is to idiot-proof it. Not because the people reading it are idiots. As far as I'm aware, nobody who's picked up a noun is one, but because not everybody has the... Don't give me a crying emoji. But because not everybody who has... not everybody is an expert in every situation. And you really have to understand that, reading proposals is a job. It is something that it's not the fun part of having a noun. Voting might be the fun part, but just reading proposals is like, yeah, this is serious work, and not a lot of people have all of the energy in the world to do that consistently. So some people are going to skim through your props, and you need to put your props at like a 5th grade reading level so that even if they're skimming through it, they can still absorb everything that matters. And then put the complicated shit down at the end. Context is good for the people who can understand it, but for the majority, it's not because they're stupid. It's because they're tired. People are going to be reading proposals at 7 o'clock in the morning before they go to their actual job. Same time they check email. I approach proposals the same way that you approach cold emailing someone. You assume that they're going to be reading it when they're not really paying that much attention, and you meet them halfway where they are, because frankly, when people are tired, they're dumb. So
I like that. That is so true. It's like cold emailing.
it
That's
is no,
really,
literally,
really
it's like cold
true. Yeah.
emailing. People are going to be reading proposals at this. I mean, us here are an exception because we read them on air. And so we're reading them in the middle of our workday. Most people don't get that. Most people are reading these either before work when they're still groggy and they haven't woken up yet, or after work where they're drained from their day, or on their lunch break when they're trying to take a break.
That's kind of like Jarman had a shit post the other day about Nounstown. He's like, how is everyone getting the middle of the week off to go to this?
Yeah.
Wait, to go to like
To go to
the
Nounstown.
Because it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, so to go to nouns? Okay.
Yeah. So he was just like, it's just a Jarman shit post, but like same kind of thing where like these people they have, you know, a regular job that they have responsibility over too, and they're just like reading the noun stuff like when they're in their free time, and they've already been, you know, overwhelmed by the day or whatever.
Yeah. By the way, you just sort of showed up and I didn't even bother to greet you because I'm so used to your presence. But hi, Davin.
I know. But like talking about this, you know what's so interesting? I think the other day I was hanging out in Pizza DAO, in Pizza DAO Discord, right? And it is the meeting was happening at a time whereby my day job is done. It's like at around there, like 5 p.m. or something like that. So I'm just hanging out, and one of the guys asked me, "So, Davin, what do you what do you do? Like, what's your day job?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
And you're like, I ask myself that question every day. It's a
But yeah, it's like it's true. Like what you're saying is true. Is that
Davin, what do you
okay? What
do?
was it?
Hell if I know.
Oh, right now I'm building the noun school. That's my that's my side
Yeah.
job. Side.
What, Davin, what do you do for a living? Well, at the moment.
If it goes on, hey, maybe I could build it.
It really does give you kind of an interesting resume though, doesn't it? Because if you are involved with enough Nounish projects, it's like
Mhm.
if, going back over my own sort of thing, it's like, so what do you do for a living? And it's like, well, starting 2 years ago, I was essentially
I host
community
the show.
managing a
You host
Discord.
the show every
Well,
day.
no, I know that now I
That's
do, but
crazy.
like going over the last couple years, it's like, well, I was community managing a Discord that nobody asked me to, and then they paid me for it. And then I was writing educational material for a group that, again, nobody asked me to do, but then they paid me for it. And then I was editing
And I think that's the crazy part.
videos for a show that I was not actually hired by, but they said they would pay me for it anyway. So I did that. And then they ended up hiring me, and then everybody got tired of hosting the show, and so I started doing it and
That's the thing.
during a Christmas
Here's
season
the thing
because
about
everyone
that.
else was busy. Like, and now I host a show, and it's like, oh, do you have any other jobs? It's like, yeah, I yell into a microphone as a dragon every once in a while and get paid for that. Like, what? The only other job I've had in that time is sitting around a table doing improv comedy with people who paid me to do improv comedy with them. Which is, to be clear, playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like, that's... And I feel like I have a relatively normal resume compared to a lot of people that are involved in, like, the sort of gig work that you end up doing when you are, you know, living off of a DAO, basically. You end up just kind of doing whatever. It's like, oh, can you do this? It's like, well, I never have, but yeah. Sure. I can learn. But it ends up working out. I think we lost Davin. I think he had a phone call.
Yeah, it sounded like a ringtone in the background there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go to our next proposal until he can come back. So we talked about Noun's fusion reactor. By the way, NetNose, to answer your question, the biggest red flag on that for me is the fact that the instructions are coming from ChatGPT. Like, if this was a prop about, you know, oh, I'm doing actual research into building this and I'm talking to these experts and I'm citing my sources, then I'd be like, yeah, this is awesome, even if it was, you know, costing a little bit more to do all of that. But the fact that this, like, and like, I would vote for the website on its own, but asking for funding for a fusion reactor that you're building based on a LLM hallucinating, we're talking about a machine that tells people that they should take horse tranquilizers. Like, I'm not going to it would be funny, but I don't want to like fund a supposedly serious prop for its comedy. I feel like that's a bad precedence to set.
I mean, Toady did have a good point with the moonbeams thing the other day, though.
Right, but I feel like it's different to say we funded somebody to build a nuclear reactor versus we funded somebody to watch to learn how to build a nuclear reactor from ChatGPT. Like there's a big difference between the two, and it does depend on how you frame it. Like you could just leave that bit out when you talk about it, but anybody who actually looked into it, and anybody who actually cared, would be like, "Oh, these people are full of shit." Like the first step. It's just like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, well, that's why. I don't know. I feel like that is ripe and ready to backfire at any given time. I might just be, too anti-AI for this, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, even in my experience of trying to build like a simple website using ChatGPT, it goes very wrong very quickly.
This is how bad ChatGPT is at most technical things. I ask it to generate like code for me so that I can have practice fixing the bullshit it comes up with. Like I ask it to seriously generate code as like homework and like practice for me to fix it. And that is the best reason to use it I have found so far is using it to generate bad work. Or like the highest level that I've found is getting it to like help me come up with names for like Skyrim weapons, and then it inevitably comes up with things that it's like it cites Latin in a way that's wrong, and I'm like, that's not what that means. You don't know. So it's very much a thing of like the moment you understand anything about the subject it's talking about, it's full of shit, which is why seeing this prop, I'm just like, oh no.
Guys, can you hear me? Sorry, I went off. I got a call and went off, but I'm back.
Yep.
We're just talking about this. To me, it's a very interesting topic of like how nouns proposals work, and like the proposal I love right now, but I don't know how people feel about. But it's that nuclear fusion proposal.
We were literally just talking about it. Yeah, I was literally
Why
just talking
Brett?
about how stupid I think it is.
Why? Why do you think it's stupid? Because to me, that's like one of
because it's
to
using
me,
ChatGPT.
If I had a noun, like I would be reaching out to this guy. I'm like, hey, just need to rewrite this proposal. This is like a genius level prop.
If he removed the ChatGPT component, I would be okay
Wait,
with
it has ChatGPT?
Yeah, that's how he's creating
it. No, that is
He's
literally the
using
entire core thing that the prop revolves around. The core
Not to
concept of the
build
prop is asking ChatGPT how to build this thing.
Really? Because we talked to him the other day on the P-Noun space. We had a chat with him, right? I called him on, and I think it's called Rich Kids of Solana.
Yeah.
And turns out this is his second proposal to nouns. I was like, oh, that's interesting. He has 2 nouns, and it's his second proposal to nouns. Like, oh, wow. What was the first one? They did a first one to do something in Bangkok.
Yeah, Bangkok Hacker House event. Prop 609.
Hacker House, yes, Hacker House. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. So it was really, really interesting. And he's like, wow. Like, he owns now. He has 2 nouns, and he's thinking of doing a nuclear reactor. That's crazy.
Yeah, like again, I'm in the website that he put on this. Like that's cool. Like if it actually worked. Like if here's the version of this prop that I would like, because I do like the idea of getting together as many experts as you can in order to build this thing in a way that is like they're not you're not having to go through a specific organization or anything like that. You decentralize it. I get that and I like it. If this was hey, we built this this website and we got people involved in it. Because like they talk about the website, we're launching the Nouns Fusion project, an initiative aimed at building the world's first scalable open source fusion reactor. The project will welcome contributions from scientists, engineers, hobbyists, and supporters around the globe. If they built the website and then we're like, hey, we built this thing, we reached out to some people, it looks like it's got some traction. You know, there are some
Yeah.
scientists and engineers who are already getting involved that we reached out to personally. We want to take this to the next step and spend get an ad budget, get a budget to travel and talk to these people in person and get them on board with this project. I'd be like, that is so cool, and I'd be so for it. But the fact that this prop leads with, I then researched how to create a nuclear fuser at home using ChatGPT, is like, okay, I'm done. Like
Oh my god.
I don't need to see the rest. Like that's all.
But it's a good idea, though. It's a good idea. You cannot knock the
Anybody building
idea.
something based on a learning language model is that's not something I trust on any level.
No, but yeah, to me it was really interesting. Just know, it was one of those proposals I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, wow. Can't imagine there's someone think about it. Wow.
It's got to be on the soundboard. Hold on, let me look.
The Owen Wilson wow.
Gotta be this. Wow.
Yeah, we've got it on the main soundboard. I don't have it on my personal one, but we do have it on the TNS soundboard. We've got a couple of different wows on the TNS soundboard.
Shout out to Yasin, whether he's called Yasin. Yasin from Turkey with his nouns proposal.
Wow.
Which is really interesting, by the way. That shows you how global nouns is, permissionless. You don't need to complicate the proposal. You can just make it as simple as that and submit it.
And people will vote for it based on the meme, or they'll vote against it based on the meme. Depending on how they feel about the meme.
Oh my goodness.
You and I are on very opposite sides of this, I think, and it's fun to
But
have.
I'm on your side. It's like this because the rule says, yeah, you must have 2 nouns to submit a proposal, right? So why not submit?
Right, but that's not the only requirement. Like, yeah, you have to have 2 nouns to submit a proposal.
You can submit whatever you want. I guess he's right. Sure.
Yeah, you can
Doesn't
submit
mean-
it.
Technically,
Doesn't make it quality.
technically.
You can have 2 nouns to submit a proposal, but you still need the DAO to pass it. And I feel like
you don't
a
need
lot
any
of
nouns to submit a proposal, actually.
yeah, you could go through the candidate proposal, which I think most people should go through the candidate process so they can at least get some feedback before submitting this one.
Speaking of candidates, can I shameless plug myself? I have a
Hell
candidate
yeah.
app.
You have a candidate?
I do have a candidate app. Follow up of the Noun Square. Shout out to Borg and the community, Mike, and everyone else giving feedback on this. But yeah, we have announced a community, to finish the school. It's a candidate prop. Editing it, I've edited it so far, I think 4 times. Trying to clean it up, and there's like these unwritten rules of how to write a nouns proposal. That's crazy. I think this nouns fusion reactor proposal really, really is on the line there. It's like, oh, the things gotta present, and you're talking to humans, friends here. How do you? So yeah, I got a candidate. Have you seen it?
I'm looking at it right now. Nouns Primary School. Finishing, furnishing, and painting. Handover date Friday, January 31st, 2025. Requesting 128K USDC. So, that is so sick. TLDR
really?
seeking an additional 128K USDC to finish, furnish, and paint the Noun School in Kianga, Western Uganda, East Africa. This proposal also serves an update to the Noun School project and removes the Noun School launch cost from the original draft candidate proposal. What has been done from Prop 477? Jesus, 477. I didn't realize it was that long.
Wait, this was like January last year.
I know.
This year, actually, not
This
last
year, I was going to say. It hasn't been that long.
Say next year, right? Or January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to look at this. What is this
Yeah,
HackMD? Dear God.
Are the photos showing up well?
Yeah,
I
in the
think
Hack
some-
MD they certainly are, and they are in the prop too. I've never seen somebody do a table like this in a proposal before.
Oh yeah, we broke the nouns camp, but it's a thing in HackMD. You could do tables, and someone said me, oh, matrices help better to reporting. When you're writing a good report, you have to summarize and put them in small little tables which are easily digestible.
Yeah, no, I like it.
So yeah, but that's how far we've gone, man. That's how far we've gone. I'm in shock. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they are the ones like capturing the footage, the drone footage, photos. There's like videos of this, and he just told me like, "Oh, I did not expect you people to go this far. You people have gone so far. You have done too much." Like, no, it's not yet done. I'm trying
Looking at
to ask
the
it
drilling
now.
company we hired encountered significant difficulties. Their heavy drilling truck was unable to navigate the steep and rugged roads of the Rift Valley. Prioritizing safety above all, we have decided to delay the water project by an additional 30 days while we seek alternative solutions. Oh yeah, we talked about this, right? Where there you found iron in the water.
Oh no. Please don't.
Didn't we talk about this where you were like, we found
Yeah,
iron in the
yeah.
water, and I was like, well, long term that's good. Short term it's kind of annoying, but long term I
Big
can see it
setback.
now.
Actually,
The children yearn for the
for me, that's the
mines. It's
thing.
Minecraft is popular for a
Shut up.
reason. Let's go.
Okay, please, let's not go
Why are they called
there,
miners?
but this is why I don't like coming on the show. You guys take these things too far. Oh my god. But
we
no,
take it
talked
too
about
far. We're the ones who take it.
We talked about this, and by the way, and that's what I said that day. We may laugh, but these are serious.
It
serious
is a
matters.
serious issue. But no, here's the thing.
Anyway.
We laugh because it's a serious issue. Because if we don't laugh, then we're just gonna wallow in
I mean,
frustration.
that's the thing.
So-
That was the biggest setback on this proposal, and I think for me, this thing taught me something. It was my first time doing a personal drilling project, and this is like me doing it myself. So I'm looking for the drillers, I'm looking for the surveyors, I'm doing the actual work. Uh, so what happens is that the first truck they brought, through a lot of phone calls and uh, stress, the first truck they brought just couldn't make it down, right? Just couldn't make it down.
Yeah,
Now,
couldn't make it in at all.
it was timed that if we can drill the well, we shall use the water from the well to build the rest of, like you use it for the mortar, for the cement, for the whatever
Right.
you want to use the water for. They don't drill the well. First 30 days, they call you back. After 30 days, like, oh, this is impossible. We cannot do it. And you've already paid, For the first time, I was like, oh, shit, I can't believe it's like, you got to delay. But in that delay doesn't mean you are going to stop the work that should be done. So we end up paying for the water outside of the budget. It's like, this is even taking on other things, and it's not paying for water to be fetched from a well so that you can do the work that you need to do and try to finish. And yeah, we had to get another company. My lawyers got involved. It was a whole thing. Like, it was a whole thing. And in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, seeing this new Duno thing that has come up, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Sometimes the projects do go awry.
Yeah.
You can't go, of course, and you gotta like fight it. I remember talking to Prof about it, and I asked Prof, I'm like, so Prof, what do you think? How do you think Mr. Beast did it? To do 100 of these shits, yet me just one. I failed to do it. How did Mr. Beast?
Because he's got more money than God and he's Mondele. Like, that's the reason. Like that.
Okay. I'm gonna RFG, please. No.
But I'm right.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me say things I don't want to say. No, I'm done.
I'm
That's the
right.
story of the
I'm
water
right.
project. I'm done.
Because Mr. Beast
yeah.
by himself has more money than the Nouns Protocol does.
That's what she said. It's like, yeah, like even him in those 100, maybe 40 or maybe 30 of them were also not portable. They had high iron content. You cannot give that. It's not portable. That's what they call it in the
Yeah, it's
water
because it's basically
experts.
blood. It's
You can't drink it. And yeah, if you give it to the people, if you say, oh, cool, we got to deliver the water, and you give it to the people, 10 years from now, the community starts to have issues, and they can trace it back to you. And they're like, oh, you did this. You are the one who was building this damn school. And
yeah.
you
With
gave
the way
us
that you
poison
describe
water.
the iron content, it would not take 10 years. No, like genuinely, the iron content in that water.
Okay.
For anybody who doesn't know what we were talking about, they already tried drilling.
Fantastic.
They found water, which was great. We found water, but the iron content was so ridiculously high that it was actually essentially toxic. And it wouldn't
And
be immediately lethal, but still.
and then we tried to, like, okay, how do you solve this problem? Um, then we started talking to, it was the Ministry of Water and Environment, because this is a government collaboration project. This is a
Yeah.
public school, so you gotta talk to these people. And the consultant was like, and this is so funny to me, but in hindsight, it's not so funny. Because consultant was like, why do you think you guys are special? We drill wells more than the money you have spent. Your 25,000 you're complaining about, and we abandon them because it is, that's how it works. You see, until we give you a certificate to say your water is good to give people, don't do that, right? So I was like, oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's really interesting. And even them, they have their perspective on it. They took the data and they added it to their database, and they are going to make a case that in this region we have so far drilled 3 wells, and our well is number 3. There is no water for the people, right? And for them, they now write a proposal of $100 million to the World Bank, for. I was like, oh shit, it's crazy, you know.
I mean,
Now
yeah,
doesn't have that. Yeah,
you kind of
it's like,
have
yeah,
to.
that's their basic proposals. Their basic proposals start from a simple water well for the community. They're starting from $500,000 a well to millions of dollars, several millions of dollars, to solve the water problem for a community. And I think it humbled me. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But anyway, we tried. We tried. I'm sorry I lost the money. We could have maybe used it to.
I mean, not really anything you can do there. Like, it's not
the, the
like
unforeseen.
it's not I'm sorry I lost the money. It's I'm sorry we ran into literal iron rich water. That's not
Ah,
that's not
that's
that's
what
not
that's
exactly
the.
the kind of thing you can figure out before you do it. And I'm saying
Yeah.
this from personal experience because I've been there too.
No, I'm
About
telling you, like,
400
by
miles
the way,
west of you, but I've still been there.
no, by the way, I think for me that what interested me in all the whole process, right, was ever since I started doing, nouns related work or proposals. One thing has always been constant is that when you go into the wild, you're going to, like, to do the real thing. To, if you say you're gonna build the software, and then you start building the software and then realize, oh shit, I can't get users for it. I need to work on my marketing skills to get users for it. If you're saying that you're building a product or merch or whatever it is, after making the t-shirts, you realize, oh shit, I gotta fucking sell this.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing, right? It's the same challenge. Probably it may be in different ways we run into, but that's just what I'm learning, what I'm seeing, and I'm sharing. I'm telling folks, like, yeah, this is pretty cool. It's like, yeah, the school is cool, but no water. Uh, okay, you promised the water, but there is no water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did find water, to be fair. It wasn't drinkable or in any way useful, but they found it.
Do you now say, oh, cool, that
I,
wasn't in my.
we're,
I
I feel
didn't
like we're
promise
both
to
laughing
find.
about this because we know that that's the argument that they give, and we know it's bullshit, but we also know that they're not wrong.
Oh my god! So it's to me that's like
Technically
it's the
correct.
fun
The
part of
best
it.
kind of correct. All right. Well,
Oh
so
my
can you give us a
goodness.
summary of this proposal, the Nouns Primary School finishing, furnishing, and painting? So, how
Yes, the
how are you
summary
planning to
is
solve the water issue for this prop?
uh we're not solving the water issue now because that's way beyond us at this point. So it's
But yeah,
still
I
not
mean that's
related to the
that's World
government.
Bank level. That's why I was
Yeah.
asking. Like, how are you? I'm not talking about
Moving
permanent
forward,
solution. How are you band-aiding that problem?
oh, the band-aid, and this was from the consultant from the ministry, is that all we're doing is for the roofs that we have on the school, we're going to do 100% water harvesting. So that means we have gutters for all the roofs, and you can't imagine we have like I think like 9 roofs. So we did the math of the roofs and their sizes. We can fill up. In the rainy season, we can go up to 40,000 liters, right? But remember, when the rainy season is out, the dry season comes in. So, thank you. This is, but anyway, these
I knew
tanks
what the
were
solution
planned
was. I just
already.
wanted to hear you say it. That's
These tanks were planned already. These tanks were planned already for this. They were supposed to hold the water that was coming from underground. So now we're just saying, okay, cool, let them hold the water. Only challenge is when the dry season hits for 2 months in a row and it doesn't rain, the tanks become empty. That's now our argument back to the government. I'm like, okay, cool, just get water here. You guys figure out your ways, get water here. There is a 40,000 water reservoir here, right? That the community can always use. And then
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what comes out of that. Those are things that the remnants
I feel
of
like
what.
asking for government aid for 2 months out of the year is not a like not a problem
Yeah,
for
they
water.
could
Like
do that.
that they should be able to do that. Like
Mm.
the fact that you're
And that's the
going,
thing.
we're collecting it most of the time, but the dry season we do not have the ability to do
Mm.
this. Like ecologically, this is not possible.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think that's the part for me that is really interesting. Um, the government itself is just waiting for us to hand over the school, and then they start to figure it out. They start to. So for this specific proposal, I had a budget oversight. I underestimated what it was going to be, and then now I'm asking, especially looking at furnish for finishing. You're talking about plastering and doing the ceilings and doing the skirting, all these things that are necessary for a building to be habitable, right? Doing the flooring and then painting it. That's the part that I was talking to German about this. A German just replied to me, he's like, "Oh, welcome to construction." First time, I was like, "Oh, all construction guys know this, that generally the budget you start with is equal to the budget you're going to need to finish, right?" So
Pretty
this is
much.
something you can't know until, anyway, those who have built know this. It seems like it is general knowledge. But yeah, the painting and then the furnishing element is to do with we have added new classrooms. So the benches or the wood that they have been using to sit on is not enough, right? So we need to input some of it. And I've had to cut it. The original proposal of this was like times two, the first proposal. And that's what pissed off everyone. I was just presenting it how I was seeing it. But then we got to take into consideration that the DAO does, of course, have to it has to make financial sense. So we are saying we're not going to furnish 100%. We are going to build 100%, finish 100%, but we're not furnishing 100%,
Hmm.
uh, so that we can share the budget between furnishing, painting, and also essentially, oh wait, it is finishing, furnishing, and painting. Yes, this is what is remaining. Yeah. And the electricity, yeah, of course. I don't know why I forget the electricity. Yeah, and the electricity, we have done 50% of the work to do with electric. That's putting in the conduits. So every block that we have, every classroom block that we have, has the ability to take electricity, right? So wiring and putting in fixtures, that can be done. But we're now reducing the budget to say, let's just put the fixtures and the solar energy in 3 out of the 9 blocks. The other blocks, we shall maybe look at the community and other people. Nouns has done enough, I feel. So that's what, in short, that's what this proposal is proposing. And yeah, it's still open. It's still a candidate, so I'm open for views and feedback, reaching out to different people, chatting, seeing what people think. Yeah, pretty
Yeah, I'm gonna
much.
have to read it in more detail when we're off air, but I definitely
Yeah.
empathize with the issue because we've run into similar issues with because remember I was working on Les Cités des Fleuves in Kinshasa,
Yeah.
and one of the in ours it wasn't drilling, in ours it was filtering because
You filter
filtering
it?
what
Wow.
yeah, well, filtering
How
from because
expensive.
we're filtering from the river because it's on the water, but just trying to figure out how we were going to deal with water filtration for the plant and for all of the school and everything, like in all the homes. It's just because right now they're pulling up
Yo.
from wells that cannot support the level of
Uh-huh.
infrastructure that is needed to keep the plant running. And when the plant was running in like the 70s, I'm talking about a steel mill that my dad has in Kinshasa in Maluku.
So these are like
Um,
water needs for a steel mill. So
water needs for a steel
that's
mill and all of the people who work on it because it's like its
oh,
own little
like a
town.
homes. Oh, geez, that's like water. That's a government. That's like a government level. Anyway, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it
Billions of
is. It's
dollars.
a
Like
shame
yeah.
that the minister of everything doesn't like us. Like it's because we wouldn't pay him. Um,
Because
but the
Mr.
no,
Lawrence.
we've been talking to for years. We were talking to like everybody, and it's you run into issues because it's like yeah, there are people who are living there now who are
Mhm.
maintaining the systems and they're fine. But in order to get any of this up and running, you need to have water infrastructure. And what was happening before the last time the plant was running was before all of the like Belgians got kicked out essentially. And so, cuz steel mill technology doesn't exactly
Hold
advance
up.
quickly. It's
Maybe
still state of the art 50 years later. So, and they were
that's
literally
really
just
nice.
shipping water in from larger filtration plants elsewhere. But the government doesn't have the budget to do that anymore. So it's just not a thing that they can do. So they need to have localized filtration systems, and it would basically involve building a filtration plant that was damn near half the size of the steel plant.
I'm telling you that's what shocked me. Is like filtration. That's
People never realize how expensive water is until you go someplace where the infrastructure doesn't exist to filter it. Because once you have the infrastructure that's there, then it's like, okay, yeah, we can just, filter it and we're good. But like, and NetNose was asking in the YouTube chat a little while ago, I'm curious how much it would cost to clean it, talking about the water. And I was like, yeah, without, building the infrastructure and then dealing with filtering that much iron out of water, you would
yeah.
save money if you didn't build the thing and you just literally shipped it from a river.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is that when in this sort of like consultation with the Ministry of Water, that's the part that really shocked me. I think humbled me is you can't just say, oh, it's going to cost $1 million to build it. There's also the chemicals to filter, the filtration
Mm-hmm.
process. You got to have this huge if it's, let's say, a town, that means you guys had to build these huge ass tanks that essentially you pump water into, and maybe God helps you, the terrain is like gravity. You could use some gravity energy, but if you don't have if you don't have a similar terrain where you need to pump water is uphill, that means you need huge ass pumps, which
Yeah,
cost then, oh my
which
God.
cost
So
an
I can
absurd amount
imagine
to build and then cost an absurd amount to upkeep. Like I said,
to maintain.
you save money and
Yes.
resources by filtering it someplace where it's already being filtered, putting it in a truck and driving it up there. Which is ridiculous. And the thing is, like, yes, people are going to be asking, like, yeah, well, isn't filtering it somewhere else and driving it up there, isn't that like ridiculously wasteful in terms of resources? Yes, it is, and it's still saving resources. compared to building a plant on the spot. The only reason you build,
Yeah.
that sort of
Uh,
infrastructure in the location is if you expect a lot of people to be using it, which, I mean, you can see the pictures. Like, that's not
so yeah,
the case. So, yeah,
it's one of those
it's a
interesting
dilemma.
problems, and for me, my argument is maybe we do get the kids to go in the mines and make them and then we can transfer what
You use,
Wait,
we're,
David,
we're
because
going to use the iron to pay for the rest of. Uh,
allegedly, for legal purposes, allegedly, we're gonna say.
David, you can't have me doing impressions of you. I'm going to get canceled in America for joking around with you. I have Congolese citizenship. It counts.
And oh, by the way, if you, I'd like you to try this, right, RFG.
Hmm.
The new updated Google Maps. I think it's like updated in June, so it's a bit at all. But yeah, if you use Google Earth, you could literally go to the school, and I want you to see how far it is from, let's say, Kinshasa. But I know it's far.
How where am I looking?
No, you gotta do this offline. It takes some time. No, this
No,
just
I can find it right now. I guess it's near the. Okay. Let's see if
I can send you
okay.
the I can send
I'm
you
gonna
the
look it up right
coordinates.
now.
Talking about. It's not yet named because I tried to name it and put it into the system. But yeah, if this
Yeah, but
image
I'm
shows,
sure I can find it. It's named.
yeah, if you put
No,
Chianga,
it's Ndroma Primary School. Yeah,
does it show up for you?
it shows up for me. Yeah, here
Uganda?
I'll put it up on the screen. But I'm at the Ndroma Primary School in Uganda.
Really?
I'm able to claim the business if I wanted to, but
This is the problem. I need to claim that.
you really do.
Oh, it showed up.
So it showed up. Yeah, I'm looking at it. So it's a fair distance. So let's see how far it is from Kampala for starters, just to give people an
6
idea.
hours.
Yeah,
6
6 and a half
hours.
hours by car.
Uh-huh. If
Now
I'm
let's
driving
see how
good, 6
far it
hours.
is from my stomping grounds,
Kinshasa.
Kinshasa. Yeah, let's see.
Because I have a very interesting story about this location. This location, by the
54
way,
hours by car.
That's not
But
bad.
don't worry,
I mean,
I could walk it in 25 days. wait.
that's
Let me
not too bad.
see. Let me see if
bad. No,
I can go from Maluku.
Maluku must be closer.
It's a little bit closer, but it's still like in Kinshasa area. But yeah, no, Maluku is basically a neighborhood of Kinshasa. It's like a half-hour difference.
Okay, 54 hours. That's 4 days, 5 days. 5 days.
No,
Okay.
it's not. 54 hours is. I mean, well, okay, yeah, if I slept on the way.
Yeah. You know. Come on. You know.
But yeah, would have to. Okay.
But when they build the
Would have
new
to go through
African
Chikapa
Express,
and then up to Hindu Goma.
when they build the new African Express, it will be just one day to move between.
And then okay, so I'd have to cross the border at Ishasha and then. Okay. Yeah, it's this part of DRC that I would be worried about.
Yeah,
I would have.
I'm just
Oh,
thinking
you know what
about
I
it.
would have to do? I would have to like literally drive along the border of Rwanda, because I'd have to go to Goma and then go pretty much straight north from there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Goma, Rwanda. That would make sense. That would make sense.
I'm if you look at the stream on YouTube or Twitter, I'm looking at it right now, and there's a couple different routes that take longer, but
I'm in Turvan. Maybe I need to let me look at it.
It's a fair bit away. It's not close. It's only, halfway across the continent. People forget how
Yes.
huge the DRC is.
No, let me tell you, people forget how generally Africa huge is. You know,
Well, yeah, because we're
it's.
so used to the Mercator projection, which is,
Do
for
you guys
lack of a better
know?
word,
You
racist.
guys
Like
so
it's
no, it's not racist. It's,
they
anyway, you
inflate
get
like Russia and Asia and the US and like North America, and then they deflate the bottom half of the globe, so Africa looks smaller than it is by a huge margin.
so anyway.
But
Did you
like
guys see
most
this
of
proposal?
America could fit in like the Sahara. It's a big continent.
It's huge. Yeah. Did you guys see this proposal? The Kenya East Safari proposal?
Yes, and
Had
I'm
my
kind of
name in
bummed it
it.
didn't pass, but I understand why.
So anyway, that's the thing. I was in this Pizza Dow call, and I was explaining this to Snacks, and shout out to Peas. She really dug deep on it and was like, yeah, Africa. You guys saying Davin Davin's air ticket is $700. That seems a little bit much. Oh no, it's not. Actually, that ticket is comfortable for me to fly from just Uganda to Kenya. You can imagine just Uganda to Kenya.
Hmm.
That's crazy. Like, oh,
There's a
but
reason
I
I
could take a
usually
bus.
fly free these days, because
I could take a bus,
I have
a bus
spent
of 2 days.
so much money on
Mm,
flying to and from, because I was flying to and from Kinshasa from Honolulu, Hawaii, which, for anybody who doesn't know, the antipode, the literal opposite side of the globe from Honolulu is in
Kinshasa.
Botswana,
Oh,
which
really?
is just
What is Kinshasa?
south of the tier. Like you go through Angola or Zambia, and then you wind up in Botswana. You cross through Namibia for 20 minutes, and then you're
Oh,
in
wow.
Botswana. So like it's literally the opposite side of the world. And it took me the same amount of time to go from home to fly through the States and then up through Europe and down to Kinshasa as it did to fly through Japan and then to Europe and then down to Kinshasa. I could go the same amount of time either direction to fly to work. So yeah,
Yeah, that's how
I
big the world is.
I have more frequent flyer miles than God at this point. But
You can donate some to me, by the way.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
maybe.
why not? Oh, right.
But
Speaking of flights, I know maybe we gotta close the space, but speaking of flights, there's some NAS skaters coming to Uganda. So I'm excited
fucking
about that.
why?
Yeah, NAS passed this proposal to fly. I think it's called Rodriguez, and his film guy. They're coming to Uganda to donate some skateboards.
Oh, that's sick.
Uh,
Like
yeah.
to the school or elsewhere?
Not to the school, to other organizations, and they're going to visit the school in these 2 weeks that they're going to spend in Uganda. I got to drive them to the school and show them that, hey, look, it's real.
It's
It's real. We
real.
did it.
It's in the middle of nowhere, but it's real.
It's not in the middle of nowhere. It never
I'm
exists.
I know. It's an expression.
So, yeah. But
Listen,
yeah,
I
but
feel like
anyway,
I live in
that's
the middle of nowhere and I live in a city of like over 50,000 people. It's not. I'm used to
just found that
Manhattan.
proposal
Everywhere is the
from
middle of
from
nowhere
those.
to me.
everywhere is the middle of nowhere. I mean,
No, but that is really cool. But you're right. We do have to wrap it up because I've got to be out of the house
yes.
in about 5 minutes.
Thanks
So
for this. Thanks for talk, and shout out to Nouns Reactor, man. It's a good
Jesus
one.
Christ.
Yeah, we gotta
Well,
build one in Africa. If we can build a school, why can't we build a fucking reactor? Give energy to the people.
you know
You know,
what? If
people
you're
piss
able to
me
do
off.
it, if anybody could do it, I believe that you could.
Yeah, I'm getting agitated. I'm like, school is basic, energy is needed.
Yeah.
So let's just do it. Let's do
The
it.
first step is but no. What you're gonna do is you're gonna figure out a way to build a reactor that takes the water or the iron out of water, and that
Oh, hold on.
that's not a thing you can do.
Yo,
Don't
yo, yeah, no, wait. Okay, let's take this offline. I'm
refine
done.
refine the iron from the water, and then you can use that to pay for the school. Oh, I'm going to hell. All right, so on that note, I think we're good to call it. There are a bunch of other proposals that are up right now. Upcoming is Nouns Beyond Screams, the sequel. This is from Vodes. They did a really, really impressive activation in the last one, so this is following up on that. Then Pirate Positive Sum Piracy from Gami. That starts in 8 hours. We'll be talking about that more on the show tomorrow because it will be up for voting by then. We've also got Nounish Legends, the TCG, the $ Noggles contract audit, and David Horvath is back up with Nouns Plush. So we'll be talking about all of those likely tomorrow, or at least as many as we can get to. We're going to have an actual schedule tomorrow for starters. There's a lot of stuff we didn't talk about today, but there's a lot of stuff that we did. And I'm so glad, Davin, thank you so much for coming by. I always love talking to you about this stuff because that Kinshasa is still home to me on some level. And so it's always nice to, it's not the same country, but it's nearby enough that I feel like culturally I get it. So it's always fun. With that done, I think we're about finished. I'm going to just play us out with, that's not the button I meant to hit. There we go. So, with all that out of the way, don't forget to check out Nomo Noun number 1249. The coffee bean we got today, 0.00069 ETH, 100% of the proceeds go to the Yellow Collective Treasury, which goes to funding artists on chain in the Nouniverse and beyond. Speaking of, Collective Noun number 313 has a tiny bid of 0.0001 ETH, or 001 ETH, rather. For this optimistic head, if you want to bid on that, yellowcollective.xyz. Don't forget to check out the tavern if you're on YouTube or Twitter listening in. We've got a whole bunch of links here on this tavern, so definitely check all of these out, including this Nouns Primary School prop that we talked about. There's a lot of really impressive updates in the related HackMD, so please go check that out. Give any feedback if you have. You don't need a noun to give feedback. If you're interested at all, go give feedback. Check out the rest of these props that are linked above. With that out of the way, I've got to get going, so we will see you all tomorrow. The show's going to be starting around the same time as today, about 2:30